everyone! Happy Halloween! I'm dressed as a witch instead of a vampire, but that should be fine. Anyway, spoiler for SMP, Vampire SMP, most of the episode 6s. Please watch the episodes first. I'll be talking about if the humans are too late to save the vampires or not first. Then I will talk about my theories on how they can leave. Now, the cure is made up of 3 parts. First is the material component, like holy water. Second is quote-unquote killing desire. I do believe it's more like leaving desire than announcing desire than killing, but that's just a theory. The last part is something the vampires must say. They must become human by their own free will. The question of the video now comes up. Is it too late for the current vampires to be cured? I'm going to be looking at the willing part of this as well as any who would denounce their sire as a possible candidate. I will say currently there's not many, if any at all. Starting with the oldest, Scott's sire is dead. And he never really cared about his sire in the first place, so it doesn't change anything. He also enjoys being a vampire and enjoys perks. As of now, he wouldn't be willing to change back into being a human. Is it possible to convince it? I doubt it will be possible to convince him. Even with the cure inches away, I don't believe he wants it. Now, with Owen is more dramatic than Scott. Even though they both balance each other out in the coven, for this part, I'm gonna bring up his conversation with the doctor, actually. Basically, Legando believes Owen can be cured, which would be true if all conditions are met. But for him, only one real condition has been met, the physical. Now, Lewis, his siren lover, was a vampire who gave Owen the blessing. So Owen will hold on to his vampirism because he believes it's the last thing he has of Lewis. So that conversation didn't really last, but it gives us a lot of insight with his character, motivations, and his likely chance of willingly turning. None. He has no chance as long as Lewis plagues his mind and his heart. Pyro is the next vampire. With his current motivations, I will say there is a chance. Unlike the previous 2, he wants to bring it back to the capital and turn or kill everyone there. Casually. He also keeps calling Scott his sire, which is true, but it also shows he likes being connected with his sire, staying with Scott or is scared of Scott most of the time. So, with both qualifications are not complete in any way, I doubt Pyro's going to turn back to human. Now, Shelby, she's interesting. Yeah, she enjoys being a vampire, but she's also really nice. She doesn't have the same connection to Pyro as Pyro has with Scott. The thing is, she doesn't want to be human again. She enjoys his life as a vampire and Scott's roommate. Like, she wrote fanfics about all this. Why would she want to change that? Even though I don't think it is too late for her, I don't think she wants to change that much. Apple is the next turn. It's just... they're just a bit too late. For now. After Apple's talk with Owen, Apple checking the barrier and realize they can't leave, this is a major turning point for her character, as she realizes she must find a way to leave and get back to Cherry. She changes to a stage 3 vampire and betrays the militia. I think it was possible before this, and I think it will be possible to cure her after this. Before this moment, she was fully with the militia and would want to be cured. After, when she's able to get back to Cherry, she would also be good to turn back to human, but in her current state, I highly doubt it. Cleo, on the other hand, likes to play neutral or on the winning side, so being a vampire here will help a lot. Besides their fight with Ren, they've been mostly peaceful, especially to Pearl. They do want to turn Pearl eventually so they can be together for longer, but they would be able to denounce Scott pretty easily. Overall, I don't think Cleo would want to be human again. Instead, I think they will make sure Pearl is her next session. Drift and Navic got turned around at the same time, so I just go back and forth on who to start with. I'll start with Drift today. Starting with Drift, I don't think it's too late for Drift to be turned back. but it would take a lot of convincing. She feels more confident and stronger with this vampire power. She also doesn't have a good connection with her sire, which is also Scott, which makes it easier to denounce Scott if she wants to turn back. It's just convincing her to turn back when most of her friends are with the castle gang now. It will be difficult, but it's not too late. Evan, on the other hand, whatever injury he had, clearly upped his level more. Since at level 2, he clearly has white hair and is flirting with. Nope, not saying that. Not saying that. Anyways. He's the only one who has Shelby as his sire. He has a really close connection with Shelby, so he wouldn't kill her for cure. Would he denounce her? I doubt it, if it meant they can't be friends anymore. Between that and his connection with Scott, I think it's too late for Avid to be cured. He accepted he will be a vampire forever, so he won't hurt Shelby. Plus, his major turn from the start and end of the episode, including stealing the holy water, I doubt he'll ever turn back. And that's all. Overall, only Drift, I believe, have a chance of turning back at the end of episode 6. Now the second theory is how they will escape. I think it's either all the beacons must belong to the vampires, or all humans must turn to vampires, or all vampires to humans, or, last theory, time-based, or it's impossible to leave. As of now, it has been stated that there should be 10 episodes. That can change in an instant, but that does make sense for 2 of these possibilities. The other possibility I did have in mind was just all the beacon has to be turned one way or the other, but that happened before with all the beacons being turned by the humans, and they still couldn't leave. Since they entered when all the beacons was neutral, that also could make sense though. Now, I think everyone must turn one way or the other by the end of the series for them to escape, which makes sense. It would take 10 episodes or 12 vampires up to 14 members. In reality, it would be 12 episodes since we did start with Scott and Owen as vampires. But I don't want to take down that possibility. So is it time-based? Do the cast need to stay in for a certain length of time before they're allowed to leave? That also would make sense, but I think they wouldn't do it that way. Instead, they're sticking directly to the 10 episode thing. What if they have to make all the beacons neutral to leave? That would also work out, as no one knows and they all entered when all the beacons were neutral. That would mean the humans and the vampires working together to make all the beacons neutral instead of holy or vampiric, which may not happen at this rate. So is it impossible for them to leave? If they don't find a way, they may not be able to leave in the 10 episodes. They may be stuck in Oakhurst forever. But anyways, that's my vampire SMP theories. Happy spooky day! Like and subscribe for more content and have a wonderful day or night or whatever. Good night! Goodbye!